is SockBot, and I've decided to start an ASMR channel. Just kidding, my voice is honestly too shrill for that.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is SockBot. Sorry about that. So today, we are not doing that. We are going back to an old series, which was basically how to build faster. And so this is a bit of an asterisk because I'm going to try to include things that involve dreams, but it's mostly focused in Little Big Planet because, you know, Dreams still isn't out yet. I'm fine. But anyways, if you do like this type of, creation tips video, please leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more like it. But no pressure as always, because I will always love you guys. So much love. So yeah, today we're going to talk about another tool. And no, I'm not talking about myself. Today, we're going to talk about the screen freeze tool. Now, hear me out if you've never used that or if you think it's a very dull thing, because I have a tangent first. So, if you've ever played League of Legends, this is going to make more sense to you, but if you haven't, League of Legends is a multiplayer game that's played online. It's called a MOBA. What is it? A massive online battle arena? Something like that. Multiplayer online battle arena. That sounds more right. So the idea of this is to work on your team as your one character and destroy the other team and then destroy their base. It's a pretty simple concept, and if you have played, again, I'm simplifying it to the nth degree, but the idea of what I'm going to talk about with Little Big Planet exists within League of Legends too. So as you're starting to play League of Legends, one of the first things that you'll learn as like a tip from people that are very good at the game or have played for a while is to unlock your screen. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, by default, the screen will follow your character all over the map. The screen will stay locked on them like a third-person adventure game, and it will stay there no matter what you do. And what people tell you to do is learn to play with an unlocked screen. And that basically means learn to turn that off and allow the screen to move manually. And so that means that unless you hate the spacebar to center on your character, you'll have to move the screen with the mouse completely manually. And if you don't move the screen will stay on that one part of the map. Now, initially this seems kind of crazy for new players, and for old players it's just like just keep doing it. You'll get used to it and it's very useful. But what this really does is it stops you from focusing just on your one character and everything that's going on around your character and forces you to focus on what's going on the map as a whole. Now, this does a couple things. Well, one, it makes you focus on the entire game so you know what's going on with your other teammates and with the other enemies, and two, it allows you to kind of plan out your own plan of action past the initial stage where you are just focusing on your area of the game. And so that sort of planning kind of brings your attention back, and it can be tough because it requires so many more actions to move around the screen yourself and to look at more parts of the map at once and kind of increase your actions per minute, which is a huge word within the MOBA community, but it does eventually get, familiar with practice. And once it is familiar, it is incredibly helpful to helping you, one, do better in your own games just by yourself, because you can pay attention to when people are coming from other lanes to try to kill you, or two, it helps you assist other lanes and pay more attention to everything that's happening, as opposed to just what's happening around you, and assist and plan what you want to do based around that. Now, long tangent, but you may have been getting the idea that this is exactly what the screen lock in Little Big Planet does. Now, it's a little bit confusing because you're unlocking the screen from your character in League of Legends, and what I'm talking about here is locking the screen onto one area in Little Big Planet, but it's essentially the same idea. Using this tool will separate the camera from your character in Little Big Planet in create mode. It'll keep the camera centered on one specific area as opposed to following your character, in the same way that unlocking your character in League of Legends stops the camera from following your character there. And it does pretty much the same thing. They're very different games, but what it does in Little Big Planet when you lock your screen by clicking the left stick, I think it is, I always forget, but I use it every day, so I use the wrong one continuously. But when you click that stick and when you freeze the screen on that one area, it forces you to focus on the area as a whole. So this does a couple things. First of all, it forces you to move, well, somewhat broadly through that area. It forces you to draw the outline of the area. It forces you to focus on the bigger sections of it, because you can't really focus on the tiny little minute details of that area when you're so far zoomed out like that. Now, obviously, I don't say do this the whole time. You can go back in and add details later, but this allows you to make those broad strokes and create the general outline, the general plan for that area very quickly, and also get some details in there too, depending on how far you are zoomed out. And in addition to that, and this is the second thing, it forces you to focus on creating that area very cohesively. So when a character will enter that area, they're gonna be more zoomed out than you normally are, probably, in create mode. So freezing it on that area allows you to create a cohesive, like, section of that level that looks a lot like what the character is going to see when they actually visit that area. So this forces any decorations, any sort of set pieces that you have to really fill the amount of that area that you want the character to see when they're playing through it on multiplayer or single player, but when the community people are playing through your level. So it allows you to move faster through it, but also allows you to focus on the details that are important, as opposed to getting caught up on a lot of little tiny details. Now, again, this is going to sound kind of crazy if you've never used it before, and I thought the same thing. So to sort of qualify this, I only started doing this super recently, but it definitely has improved the speed of my levels significantly. It stopped me from focusing so much on decorations and so much on like the tiny parts of the level and focusing more on that area as a whole. Now, it's not going to double your speed or triple your speed, but it can improve it very significantly. It actually might double your speed. It definitely did for me. But the reason I started using it, and this is going back to me only recently starting using it, is because I watched a lot of my videos on YouTube because, you know, I am a narcissist clearly, and that's all I spend my time doing. No, I was watching them and crying because I want to improve, and I'm a perfectionist at these sorts of things. So what I saw was a lot of my time lapses were kind of nauseating because I was zooming in and out a little bit and moving around a lot, and well, I thought, well, I can fix that. I guess I can freeze the screen in this section and then just create within it. And it definitely was hard at first. I frustrated over it endlessly, and I end up not using it a lot because I get frustrated with it, but it really does keep me moving through that section. And so even when I'm not recording for YouTube, which is, I mean, rarely, I record pretty much everything, even if I don't post it here, it is incredibly useful, and I wouldn't be suggesting it if I didn't use it myself. Not only do I use it for recording now, but I use it for just about every single section of my level, and it really does follow a lot of the philosophy that I've talked about in previous videos like this. You want to continue getting the idea that's in your head onto the canvas, which is the level in the game, but you don't want to get stuck on such small things. So being zoomed out allows you to continue through that section of the level, allows me to continue through that section of the level, and I know in my mind this needs this part of technology. I need to zoom in for this, I need to add this here. If I'm creating this like super detailed character, I can zoom in, create that, and then zoom back out to place them around the level to make sure it's even, and it really helps with improving your progress through that section and stops you from getting stuck on things, because like I've said in previous videos like this, that is just the devil when it comes to level creation, is getting too far stuck on small details and not continuing progress. Because when you stop progressing any sort of significant way, you're going to get bored and you're going to stop creating, and that is obviously the opposite of what I want and the opposite of what you want to. If you want that level, this is one of my top tips, in addition to the other ones which I've talked about previously, which you can definitely go watch and should watch, although I haven't watched them recently, so if they're kind of devastating in terms of like my talking speed and or my editing skills, sorry, I guess. But yeah, it's not like I got that much better.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a super simple concept, but you know me. I go in depth with things. Just how my brain works, and this is my extensive journal, which I put out for the internet to read. Thinking about it that way makes it a lot more concerning. Probably something I should talk to my therapist about, but regardless, if you like this type of video, like I said, leave a like down below. No pressure, I'm not going to punch that into your skull yet. But if you like this type of video, you know, let me know. Also, let me know if I'm completely wrong. If you guys totally disagree and hate this tool and have used it a lot, or at least tried it a while, you know, let me know about that too, because it's good to know. It's good to know if I'm stupid. I'm good enough of it for my dad. Nah, my dad's great. Alright, hope you guys are doing well. And like I said, thanks for listening to my ASMR. Hope you're all doing well. Goodbye.